What's up, you guys? It's your girl Queen House Crime. I'm back again with another video. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. This video, we are going to be talking about the West, Jacqueline and Trezell, Rest in Heaven, Classic and Sincere, Orrin and Orson West. Like I said, we're going to continue to follow this case until they are convicted and put away. Tomorrow I'll be expecting a video with Summer Wills, and then after that be expecting a Jelani Day video. So y'all stay tuned to what's going on. Shout out to everybody for the emails. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this video. So yes, I got y'all emails, and I also got the comments on the videos. And y'all know I don't go off of hearsay. I don't go off of watch another YouTube channel and then listening to what they're saying and how they interpret things of any indictments. I have to see it for myself. I want to see the paperwork. So therefore, that's what I did. Y'all already know how Queen do. I have to see things for myself. I had a hard time believing, you know, you can't just pop up in somebody's comment section or just tell them, hey, you know, they made the kids murder the babies. You know, you have to have some type of receipt with it. So, and I was hearing it, so I went and I found it. Shout out to Bayan Wong, because he had it on Facebook where I was able to actually go and read it for myself. I needed to see it for myself. Not saying that y'all are wrong, but I want to be accountable for whatever I bring and the information I bring on my channel. That's it. That's all. I just want to be accountable. You know, I'm the only one that's going to be held accountable, and I can't bring no false information to this channel because people come over here for the real deal. All right. So let's get into this indictment. First and foremost, I want to say Jacqueline Trezell went to court today. These diabolical demons, psychopaths, sociopaths, devils, they're everything under the book and deserve life with no parole. Actually, they deserve the death penalty. First and foremost, they had went to court today and they pled not guilty. I am not surprised, neither should you be. These people has been lying and thought they got away with murdering Classic and Sincere this whole year. They have been lying this whole time, covering up, thinking they got away. They even thought of blaming it on the children, whether they coerced them, made them do it, whatever the case may be. They tried to get their hands less dirty. Okay? So, and they're crooked. So, therefore, I already knew they're not going to just all of a sudden after a year tell everything and say, yes, I'm guilty. No. Not these two. They're going to try, by some way, shape, form of hope, get off on whatever. That's why I'm hoping the state DA got everything tied with a bow to serve them up on a platter to prison for life, because they can slip through the cracks if their case is not solid because you have no bodies. So it's very, very pertinent and important that they have everything tied up, correct, all I's dotted and T's crossed. Because if not, they can get off. And that's what we can't happen. We cannot have these people on the street. We cannot let these people get away with what we knew from day one, that they murdered those children. Without a shadow of a doubt. Just by all the facts and the evidence that we've seen and observed from the beginning, told us that they murdered these babies. We didn't need to go off in fairy tale land. We looked, we watched, we observed, and we documented. And what we watched and observed told us what we know now. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the indictment. I did want to let you know that they pled not guilty. They do have separate lawyers. She has her lawyer. He has his lawyer. So there won't be no conflict. Okay. So they both have their own lawyer. They both in there looking evil. It's all get out. But like I said, they about to go down. And that's what we've been waiting on. We can't bring the kids back, but we can fight for justice. That they get it all the way to the end. So they can be resting peacefully. Also, I feel sorry for the other children. And I'm hoping that the other children, the older children, whoever was involved in the murder of Classic and Sincere, I hope they're getting the help that they need. We'll wait to see what they're going to do with that because, you know, I mean, if they're at that 11, 12 preteen stage, you know, it's kind of iffy of how the child is going to turn out. Since they're already exposed to violence, you know, are they going to be a violent individual? Can you correct that right now? You know, so it's going to be interesting on how that's going to turn out with the children, what they're going to do with the children. But we do know they are at least in state custody, and that they are safe away from these two for sure. So we'll have to wait to see how that's going to turn out. But see, these two cowards, for them to have to use children says a lot about them. Because I do believe that they have been abusing these children, all of them. That's my opinion. I believe they have been abusing all of those children. So the children was already predisposed to the violence in the household. And I believe they likely scared the children and threatened them. Well, if you do not beat Orson, Classic and Sincere to death, I'm going to beat you to death. And you're going to be in a serious punishment. So let's see how they word this in the indictment. Here it goes. On or about September the 1st, and this is count 1, Penal Code Section 187, murder. On or about September 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2020, Trezell West and Jacqueline West did with malice aforethought murder Oren West, a human being, in a violation of Penal Code Section 187A. Second degree murder, a felony. It is further alleged that the above offense is a serious felony within the meaning of Penal Code Section 192.7C1. Circumstance and aggravation. It is further alleged that the defendant Trezell West and Jacqueline West committed a crime that involved great violence, threat of great bodily harm, or other acts disclosing a high degree of cruelty, viciousness, or callousness with the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421. So, what they said in the circumstance and aggravation, that Jacqueline and Trezell committed a crime that involved great violence, great bodily harm, and other acts. Okay? Which mean they themselves as well, Jacqueline and Trezell, that's how I'm taking it, participated in the violence, in the beatings, the great bodily harm, that's physical, Other acts disclosing a high degree of cruelty, viciousness, or callousness. So they themselves were hands-on. Okay? They themselves were hands-on. All right? And that's how I take that. And basically what it says right here in the circumstance and aggravation. See, they won't be able to put it. I know they're going to try their best to put it all on the children, but it's not going to work because they themselves, too, like I just said, I believe they've been abusing the children. This didn't just happen, start one day. This just didn't start 3 months before they report them missing. They've been beating and abusing these children. You don't just start and just hop up and murder somebody. You've been showing signs, symptoms, abuse. You've been doing that. Okay? So they found history and are aware the state of abuse of these children, of all of the children. Count 2, Penal Code Section 187, murder on or about September 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2020. Trezell West and Jacqueline West did with malice aforethought murder Orson West, a human being, in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, second degree murder, a felony. It is further alleged that the above offense is a serious felony within the meaning of the Penal Code Section 192.7. Circumstance and aggravation. It is further alleged that the defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline West, committed a crime that involved great violence, threat of great bodily harm, or other acts disclosing a high degree of cruelty, viciousness, or callousness with the meaning of California rules of court. Okay, it is further that the victim, Orson West, in the circumstance of aggravation, Orson West was particularly vulnerable within the meaning of California rules of court. Circumstance and aggravation is for alleged that the defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline, induced others. And this is where it's very important, this part right here, circumstance and aggravation. This particular part in the indictment is very, very important because this is what people are getting, that they made the children help and participate and order them to help in the murder of Classic and Sincere. It is further alleged that the defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline West, induced others to participate in the commission of the crime or occupied a position of leadership or dominance of other participants in its commission within the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421. So I take that is they had them possibly, they could have made the children help move the babies after the fact. They could have ordered them to beat them and help, as well as Trezell and Jacqueline beat them themselves. They could have ordered the kids to help and participate and beat them. They could have made them help clean up the mess. Made them clean up, because you know if you beat someone, there's going to be blood and fluids and things of that nature. So they could have ordered the children to help clean up after the fact. They could have made them get rid of, go to the dumpster or go throw away items of clothes or move their bodies, help wrap them up in something. I'm not trying to be very graphic here, but I want to explain everything and break it down. So I don't just take that as they ordered them to beat them. They induced them to participate. So they could have participated in many ways more than just one. But we're not going to leave out beating, because they could have ordered them to help beat the children to sleep. But it could also mean they could have had them help after the fact, during, throw away, get rid of evidence, clothes, blankets. Could have ordered them to clean up, get the bleach, scrub this floor, scrub this wall. I better not see no more, but whatever. And if you ever say anything, this is going to happen to you. And like some of y'all think, they ordered them to beat them. Or if you don't beat them, I'm going to beat you. And this is going to happen to you if you act up. So, like I said, this can be taken in many more ways. This is why I wanted to myself read the indictment. All right. Let's keep going. Circumstance and aggravation. It is further alleged that the defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline West, that the manner the crime was carried out indicates planning, sophistication, or professionalism within the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421. So let me go ahead and state here that means I taking it as they planned it, they orchestrated it, the Trezell and Jacqueline orchestrated it, they ordered and orchestrated the cleanup, including the children. They helped and probably had the children help get their bodies prepared for them, Trezell and or Jacqueline, to dispose of the bodies. And they have some type of evidence that goes to that, whether it's video, text, location pings, electronics, witnesses, visual witnesses, whatever they got evidence of that. And like I said, y'all can't forget that Trezell was in the Army at one point. He served the country. I'm not particular on what branch off the top of my head, but he allegedly suffered a little PTSD, which he will not be able to use it as an excuse because it's not going to work. But over there, they teach you some things, and I believe he used that in the form of control, in the planning and sophistication and professionalism, and knowing how to deal with crime. Over there, you see death, depending on what you have to do with what branch or what's going on. You see death, you experience death. So I'm sure he handled it professionally. And that's why it's taken them a very hard time, in my opinion, for them to find the body, because he has experience in serving the country. And they teach you a lot of things. So he has the knowledge. Trezell has some knowledge of likely disposing, planning, being sophisticated in what he do, hiding things. He has that knowledge and training. And I believe some of that, if not majority of that, comes from him serving the country. Okay? But they definitely have some proof, evidence to be able to have that in this affidavit. So, I'm not sure whether or not they made the children murder the children, but they had them help do something, whether it was help beat them, help get rid of the evidence, or clean up the evidence. They had the children do something. Okay? Circumstance and aggravation is for alleged that the defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline West, took advantage of a position of trust or confidence to commit the offense within the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421. Count 3, Penal Code Section 273A. On or about September 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2020, Trezell and Jacqueline West did willfully harm or endanger Orrin West, a human being, in violations of Penal Code Section 273A. So, this is basically pointing at Jacqueline and Trezell. Willfully harm and endanger those babies. So you willfully beat them. You willfully ordered other children to beat them, a human being. You put them in danger. You caused the danger. You willfully caused the danger. It is further alleged, and that is a felony. It is further alleged that the defendant, Trezell and Jacqueline West, committed a crime that involved great violence, threat of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or other acts disclosing a high degree cruelty, viciousness, callousness, with the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421. And it's all the same things as just described in very grave detail on both children, Orson and Orrin West. Okay? It also says circumstance and aggravation is further that the victim, Orrin West, was particularly vulnerable within the meaning of California Rules of the Court 4.421. The same thing they said about Orson West. It goes for both children. Circumstance aggravation. It is further alleged that the defendant Trezell and Jacqueline induced others to participate in the commission of crime or occupied a position of leadership or dominance of other participants in its commission within the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421A. So this right here is the same thing for both children. Okay? For both children. So we already read the one for Orson. It's the one for Orrin. And like I said, they could have ordered the children to murder, made them participate, threatened them to participate because they're the parents. They're the dominant ones. They're the ones that's cracking the whip. They could have, Trezell and Jacqueline could have beat the kids, then let them order the kids to beat the kids the rest of the way. Or they could have had them participate in cleaning up, removing clothes, cleaning up, scrubbing the walls, scrubbing wherever the acts took place. Could have made them clean it up with bleach. Could have made them roll them up in something. At some point, they made the children be involved. And we will know more in depth on how involved the children were and what all they made the children do in dominating the children and when we go to trial. But this indictment doesn't say for a fact or for sure that they made the children beat the children. Okay? It says they dominated them and had them participate in the commission of the crime. So you can take it as it's all how you take it. And everyone's free to take it however they want to take it. But I like to look at all possibilities. I just don't jump to one conclusion and boom and leave it there and say it's fact. No, because there's many possibilities they could have made these children participate in this vicious, brutal crime. They could have made them participate physically, or they could have, made them beat them. They could have made them clean the walls, clothes, throw away things, roll them up in something. They could have done a lot of things, lie for them. I mean, there's so much they could have done to make them participate in the crime and threaten them as well. So I look at it at all aspects. I don't just look at it at one. So I want to bring you guys the indictment itself. Like I said, we're going to follow the trial when they go to trial. And let me just say this, because I'm about to end this video. Don't think for 1 second that Trezell and Jacqueline ain't thinking to putting it all on the children. Oh, that's definitely going to be one of their defenses. I really believe that. I believe that's why they made them participate in any ways, whether it was the beforehand, in the middle, cleaning, afterhand, disposing. They did it for a reason, because they're thinking about, well, if they get caught, they can throw it off on someone else. These are cowards. They're not going to step up to the plate and take responsibility for what they've done. Okay, they're two evil, diabolical, psychopathic creatures that belong 6 feet under. And until they're there, we're going to fight to make sure they are get convicted in this trial. But we will follow it. But don't be surprised if Trezell and Jacqueline in the trial don't try to put it solely all on the children, like it was their idea, like they came up with this. Just don't be surprised, because I have a feeling that's where this might be going. Just by looking at the indictment, they're going to react and say, well, you know what? They did it on their own. I was trying to protect my children and help cover up what my children did because I love them. I didn't want them to get in trouble. So it's a lot of ways, and we don't have bodies. So we're going to continue to pray, and we're just going to hope that all I's are dotted and T's is crossed. So these individuals don't get off on this vicious crime, because we know they ordered those babies to do that if they did that solely on themselves. And we know that Trezell and Jacqueline been abusing these kids, and we know they beat Orson West themselves as well as ordering, if they did order the kids to participate in the beating. We know they themselves are vile and did it just by how they show their distance and no connection with those babies that they never loved. All right, this your girl Queen Talks Crime. I'm out. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Peace.